Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window on this Friday. And a lot like yesterday, low-hanging clouds. This is a shot looking down at Leavenworth. Yeah, it's under that cloud deck with the Cascades in view there. We had some of that fog this morning in the Wenatchee area, and that lingered into this afternoon as well. And that's just ahead of our first of three storm systems moving our direction, and we'll see that beginning tonight into our overnight and through a lot of the day on Saturday. I think it'll be snow overnight tonight and then kind of a snow rain mix as we get into tomorrow. We're specifically talking about Okanagan Valley, also the Cascade Valleys right here in the Wenatchee area too. And be careful driving. It'll be slick and snowy tomorrow morning. We'll talk more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. The Moses Lake man who bilked the federal government out of more than $50,000 in COVID-19 relief money must serve 3 years on probation. The Equal Pay for Team USA Act, led in part by Washington Senator Maria Cantwell, was signed into law by President Joe Biden yesterday. And despite the pandemic and fears about a tight labor market, 2022 proved to be a record-breaking year for new construction in Chelan County. But first, our top story tonight, a Wenatchee man who's been jailed for more than 2 years awaiting trial on charges of child rape has pleaded guilty to the crime. 48-year-old Stephen J. Matthews entered a plea to 1 count of first-degree child rape yesterday in Chelan County Court, plus 2 counts of possessing child pornography. The plea agreement helped him avoid trial on 4 other counts of child rape, plus related charges including distribution of child pornography. The survivor of Matthews' abuse, who's now an adult, said he committed the crimes between 2009 and 2012. Police arrested him in November of 2020, and he's been held on $500,000 bond ever since. Matthews is due to be sentenced in mid-February when he faces a recommended prison sentence of 18 years. Well, the Moses Lake man who bilked the federal government out of more than $50,000 in COVID-19 relief money must serve 3 years on probation. Dondre Charles Jackson pleaded guilty in September to 1 count of making a fraudulent claim. In 2021, he fabricated a non-existent business to apply for Paycheck Protection Program loans and received just under $51,000 before the scheme was discovered. In Spokane federal court yesterday, Judge Thomas O'Rice sentenced Jackson to just 1 day of jail time, which he's already served, plus 3 years of supervised release. During that time, Jackson may not take on any new debt or financial contracts without approval from his probation officer. The Equal Pay for Team USA Act, led in part by Washington State Senator Maria Cantwell, was signed into law by President Joe Biden yesterday. The law requires equal pay and benefits for all athletes who represent the United States in global competitions. Senator Cantwell began work with West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito in 2019 after the U.S. women's national soccer team sued U.S. Soccer for equal pay. After reintroducing the bipartisan bill in June of 2022, it passed in both the Senate and House last month. The law applies to 15 different sports while also requiring the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee to handle oversight. Well, despite the pandemic and fears about a tight labor market, 2022 proved to be a record-breaking year for new construction in Chelan County. County Assessor Dina Walters says there was an estimated $335.5 million worth of new homes and commercial buildings erected last year. That amounts to a 20% increase over 2021 and more than 37% better than 5 years ago. Walters says new construction has grown year over year in Chelan County since 2015, but the trend is not likely to continue. Rising interest rates and inflation could slow the pace of new building projects through 2023. Well, when we come back, Give North Central Washington raised a total of $611,568 for 73 local nonprofits. Domestic sheep and goats have been banned from certain Washington state wildlife areas. And a fun winter tradition is returning to a small town in northern Okanogan County. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Welcome back. In another news, Give North Central Washington raised a total of $611,568 for 73 local nonprofits. 21 of those organizations, including the YWCA North Central Washington and Chelan Douglas CASA, raised over $10,000. This was the 8th year of the Community Foundation of North Central Washington's online fundraiser. It ran from Thanksgiving to the end of last year. Give North Central Washington was open to any Chelan, Douglas, or Okanogan County nonprofit and had a minimum donation of $10. The organizations will use the awarded profits to fund core operations and special projects. Domestic sheep and goats have been banned from certain Washington state wildlife areas. A new rule adopted by the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife prohibits visitors from bringing domestic sheep and goats onto wildlife areas where bighorn sheep may be. The intention is to protect the bighorn sheep from potential disease transmission of a bacterial pneumonia that can be deadly and reduce lamb survival rates. The rule applies to parts of the Columbia Basin and Colocum wildlife areas, among others, and will go into effect this February. A winter tradition is returning to a small town in northern Okanogan County. The Conconelli Outhouse races are back on Saturday, January 14th. The goal is for 2 pushers to steer 1 passenger across the finish line on Conconelli's Main Street, riding in an outhouse fitted with skis. The races, with 10 categories, including seniors, teens, and children, has been going on for 25 years. Organizers say a good snowpack on the street is preferable, but the event, starting with a noon parade, will go on regardless of weather. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
It all starts somewhere. Join the NCWLIFE channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Top 10 selection process. Tune in to our Facebook page for the Get to Know You on Monday at 6 p.m., the Top 10 speeches Tuesday at 10 a.m., and the Top 10 announcement at 6 p.m. Coverage is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Watch it all on the NCWLIFE channel Facebook page.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. As the Russian war on Ukraine continues, so does the need among those who have fled here from that country. Tonight, starting at 7 p.m., the local Friends of Ukrainian Refugees host a fundraising event at Pybus Public Market. In tonight's feature story, organizer Keith Madsen told NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz the proceeds go to aid the 50 Ukrainian families now taking shelter in the Wenatchee Valley.
One family I know went through Moldavia, and then Switzerland, and then Spain, and then finally Mexico. You know, they've come through a long strain of getting here. A couple of reasons that they've ended up here. One, in Grant County, there were a lot of previous Ukrainian refugees, or not refugees, but immigrants. And so they had family members, and that brought them in. Also here in Wenatchee, there are Ukrainians who have been connected to a mission, church mission in Ukraine for a long time. And those that were part of that mission have heard about that through missionaries that live here locally. That's what brought them here. And so this was a land of opportunity. I think Wenatchee area has been more receptive and hospitable to these refugees than many places across the country, and I'm very proud of that. Our country has declared that we are open to these Ukraine refugees because of all they've gone through. And we know all they've gone through. That war has been horrendous in that country. They're just trying to raise their families. You know, they want their kids to be happy and prosperous. And so they're here, and having to adjust all the things, they come with nothing.
Literally nothing. A
Nothing.
backpack with whatever they can carry.
Yeah, that's basically it. And that's why a lot of times they have a hard time getting jobs, because it takes a while to get the work permits taken care of. And some of them, after 9 months, are just now starting to get work permits. You want to help them to be able to get on their feet. They want to help themselves, really, they do. But there's a point at which they can't, when they come with nothing and they can't work. So that's why we want to raise some money to help them to be able to raise their families in this situation, in this country, where we've always believed in the freedom of opportunity.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Friday was a good one. I'll tell you what, we were a lot like our friends in Leavenworth, under a cloud deck for most of the day today. This is our Blag Mountain Sky-Fi Tower camera looking down at Leavenworth. The interesting thing is we have this scenario with that cloud deck, and above that, that's our first of 3 storm systems heading our direction as we move through the weekend and into next week. And I'll tell you what, if you have lived in the Wenatchee area for a year or more, you remember January 6th of last year, 25 to 27 inches of snow fell overnight in the Wenatchee area. It was up to 3 feet in Leavenworth, and this is a look going down Chelan Avenue 1 year ago. And boy, if you lived here, like I mentioned, you're not going to forget January 6th of 2022. Let's take a look now how things fared today. 33, our unofficial high temperature today, and that's pretty much where we should be for this time of year at 32. 50, our record high, and that was set back in 2009. 21 this morning. That's also pretty much in line with normals at 23 for this time of year. Our record cold, and it was a cold one, 10 below zero back in 1982. We had 0.28 of an inch of precip up last night. The Weather Service did adjust that down just a little bit, so now we're just over 0.2 of an inch of moisture for the year. 37.5 inches of snow since October 1st. Sunrise 7:48 and the sun set this afternoon at 4:26. Let's take a look now what we can expect as we get you into the upcoming weekend. We talked about storminess coming in tonight, and that will be our scenario for tomorrow too, but you will notice warmer temperatures all around our viewing area. 42 in Moses Lake tomorrow, 40 for Ephrata, and 39 in Quincy. The warmest temperatures will be in the Columbia Basin, 36 for Wenatchee, also Entiat, and 37 for you folks up in the Okanagan County area, Tonasket, Omak, and Okanagan. This is our scenario. We talked about it last night. Here we are right here. This is the storm system moving in tonight and for Saturday. This will be the system that comes in Sunday and Monday. Tuesday, our break day, and then that last storm will move in Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So get ready. Tonight, cloudy skies. We'll see rain and snow showers likely, starting out as snow, churning over to a rain-snow mix. This will be tonight. And then as we get you into Saturday, here's your morning commute. If you're headed out the door at around 8 o'clock tomorrow, rain and snow are likely. By the afternoon, not going to let up much. We will see those rain and snow showers continue. High temperatures for Saturday into the middle 30s. And then for Sunday, here comes storm number 2 barreling into the west coast of Washington. A 60% at least chance of rain or snow. I think it'll be mainly rain on Sunday. High temperatures for the end of the weekend into the mid to upper 30s. And then on Monday, that storm number 2 begins to shift away from us, but it's going to have some lingering effects with rain showers for us on Monday. High temperatures again into the mid 20s. Rolling into Tuesday, mostly cloudy. This will be our best day of the next 6 or 7 days. We expect to be dry. It will stay on the mild side for Tuesday. Highs again in the mid to upper 30s, so not a bad day for Tuesday before storm number 3 heads our way. And this is a giant storm, a lot of moisture field heading into north central Washington. This will be our day on Wednesday, folks. A snowy and rainy one throughout with high temperatures again into the mid 30s. So temperatures are going to stay pretty decent throughout the forecast period. And then Thursday, we could even see some heavy pockets of rain showers on Thursday. I think most of that will be in northwestern Washington. Going to stay mild too. End of our forecast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. Now let's take a look at your 7-day forecast brought to you by Apple Valley Honda. Overnight lows tonight with all of that storminess. It will stay a little bit milder than normal. 32 our overnight low. 36 tomorrow. Get ready for a very wet day as we kick off the weekend. A 60% chance of a rain mixed with snow. I think it'll be mainly rain on Sunday and Monday. High temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, and will stay mostly cloudy for Tuesday. That's really our only dry day of the entire 7 days. 37 for the high. And then as we get you into Wednesday and Thursday, storm number 3, cloudy skies both days, rain and snow likely, with highs once again in the mid to upper 30s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today. NCWLIFE Channel is your home for local sports with the Wenatchee Panthers and East Mont Wildcats right here. Coverage brought to you by Abby's Pizza, BioSports Physical Therapy, Clean Connection, Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, and Together for You. Follow all the action right here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE channel.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy finally Friday. The Gonzaga Bulldogs survived a scare in San Francisco last night, came away with a 77-75 victory. Game came down to the final minutes with GU trailing by 2. Razir Bolton came through in a big way for the Bulldogs.
1 minute to go here on the hilltop. They blitzed Bolton. He gave it up. Watson does it with the foul. Anti-Watson, what a play. Roberts finds Shabazz. 3. No. Too strong. Timmy rebound. Great look. Didn't go down.
There's going to be enough time. It's about 5.5 seconds different. Shot clock and game clock. I go back to Bolton, though, here in this situation.
Hickman gives it up to Watson. Shot clock down to 10. Timmy. Double team comes. Shot clock down to 3. Timmy, no! Bolton follow, good! And he got fouled. 7 seconds on the clock. He missed the free throw. So the lead is only 2. Here comes USF. No timeouts. Shabazz.
They don't even get a
Horn
shot.
sounds. He never got it off. And the game is over.
Yeah, big win for the Zags last night. Other men's basketball, Arizona State held off Washington State 77-71. Jabe Mullins came off the bench to spark the Cougs with 19 points. Fifth-ranked Arizona barely able to beat Washington 70-67. The final, Keon Brooks led the Huskies with 16 points. Eastern Washington got 25 points from Steel Vintners and a 21 from Angelo Allegri in a 92-80 win over Portland State. Women's college basketball, Haley Van Lith scored a game-high 24 points to lead Louisville over Georgia Tech 63-55. Kaylin Truong had 17 to lead 19th-ranked Gonzaga to a 63-52 win over San Francisco. Eastern Washington topped Portland State 65-56 behind 24 points from Jacinta Buckley. Seattle Kraken used a big second period to top Toronto on the road 5-1 in NHL play last night. After a scoreless first frame, Seattle got on the board in the second with Eli Tolvanen scoring the first of 4 goals in the frame.
At the line, it's Vince Dunn, and a one-time shot scores. It's a power play goal, and the Kraken have the icebreaker, and Eli Tolvanen has his second power play goal. Here's Austin Matthews. Back for Marner. In front, deflected, scores! John Tavares with the redirected front. And Mitch Marner with point number 499. But back comes Vince Dunn, scores! Off Murray and in. And that didn't take long.
Star players that aren't going to get a chance to be playing in the All-Star game.
Look out, Jarrett McCann, in alone, scores! And there's another for Seattle in the second period. Up against Holmberg. In the slot, Eberle didn't get much on it, but here, scores! He got plenty on that. And it's 4-1 Seattle. Out comes Yanni Gord. Here's Gord working in front, and they score! Bjorkstrand on the feed from Gord, and it's a 5-1 Seattle lead. 11th road win for Seattle. It matches their total for all of last year. 4 goals in the second, and they win by 4. It's a 5-1 Kraken victory.
Coach Dave Hackstall says he was happy the team was able to survive the onslaught by the Maple Leafs in the first period.
We weathered the storm. The first 10 minutes they were skating through the neutral zone. I mean, it was they had a lot of speed and pace coming through, but we were able to, we weathered that. But it's a dangerous way to start the hockey game. But once we got through that first 10 minutes, felt like we settled the game down a little bit, and that set us up for a good second period.
Seattle continues a road trip on the road at Ottawa tomorrow at 4 o'clock. That's on Root Sports Northwest. Wenatchee Wild, meanwhile, have the first of back-to-back-to-back games coming up tonight. Wenatchee's in Powell River to face the Kings at 7 o'clock. First of 3 games in 3 days. Wild will be at Alberni Valley tomorrow at 7. Cowichan Valley Sunday at 4. You can listen for the action on KPQ and the Hawk Radio locally. You can also watch the games via subscription to Hockey TV. Well, the Seahawks play their final game of the regular season Sunday at Lumen Field against the Rams. Seattle needs a win and have Detroit beat Green Bay to get into the playoffs. Quarterback Geno Smith says that's all they want is a chance to make the postseason.
It's exciting. You know, I really think it's exciting for our team. Obviously, we get a chance to, you know, if we win, give ourselves a shot at the playoffs. So I think everyone's excited. You know, the entire locker room's focused. Everyone's ready just to prepare and get ready for the week. So I think, you know, over the course of the season, we've done some good things to put ourselves in this position. Obviously, wish we could have done a lot better, but, you know, it's what you want at the end of the year, to be playing meaningful games. And so we got one coming up this Sunday.
Sunday also marks the return of Bobby Wagner to Seattle after the Rams picked him up last year when the Seahawks released him. Coach Pete Carroll says he expects the 12s to provide a warm welcome for their former star.
They're going to be great. They love him. I think they're going to welcome him back. I just think that's what'll happen. And then if he makes a tackle or something, then maybe they don't give him as much love. You know, I don't know. He's going to make some hits in this game. He's playing good ball and doing good stuff. But you know, they'll do the right thing. Whatever it is, they'll do it.
Seattle and L.A. kick off at 1:25 of the afternoon Sunday on Fox. It also is the same time for Arizona at San Francisco. Of course, the Hawks are hoping for a win. Then they'll watch Sunday Night Football as the Lions take on the Packers at 5:25. That's on NBC. Les Schwab prep scoreboard from last night. Couple of boys games for you. Wilbur-Creston topped Oroville. Brewster took care of Manson. On the girls' side, they only gamed last night. Brewster beat Manson 64-23. Coming up on tap this weekend for the larger schools in our area, Eastmont's hosting Sunnyside tonight at 5:45 in girls play. You can watch that live on our Facebook page. Wenatchee's on the road at Davis while Moses Lake hosts Eisenhower. Ephrata takes on Ellensburg. Tomorrow, Ephrata visits Othello at 4 o'clock. Moses Lake at West Valley at 4:45. Same time for Eastmont visiting Eisenhower. For the smaller schools, Omak hosts Quincy tonight at 5:45. At 6 o'clock for Lake Roosevelt at Bridgeport. Tonasket hosts Liberty Bell, and Liberty Spangle travels to Okanagan. Tomorrow, Liberty Bell visits Quincy at 3:30. Tonasket takes on Omak at 6, while Okanagan is at Oroville. The boys' schedule includes Wenatchee at Davis tonight at 7, while Moses Lake hosts Eisenhower. Ephrata welcomes Ellensburg at 7:30. It's the same time for Eastmont and Sunnyside at East Wenatchee live here on the NCW Life channel. Tomorrow, Ephrata at Othello at 5:30. West Valley hosts Moses Lake at 6:30, while Eastmont's on the road at West Valley. For the smaller schools tonight, Omak hosts Quincy at 7:15, while Cascades at Chelan. Tonasket welcomes Liberty Bell at 7:30. Lake Roosevelt visits Bridgeport, and Liberty Spangle is at Okanagan. Then coming up tomorrow, Cascade visits Granite Falls at 2, Quincy hosts Liberty Bell at 5, Omak's at Tonasket at 7:30, while Oroville is hosting Okanagan. Finally, local wrestlers be competing at various tournaments over the weekend. Here's a rundown of the schedule. Wenatchee at the Gut Check Invite at the Showwear Center. That's today and tomorrow. Quincy's at a tournament in Cheney. Cashmere's at Sultan. Ephrata, a multi-team tournament at ACH. Eastmont, Wenatchee, Omak, and Chelan wrestlers converge on Leavenworth for Cascades tournament. That's a look at sports news. Have a great weekend. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric, and I love that gut check invite. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up Monday morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. On Monday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, our friend Darcy Christopherson, associated with some kind of gathering in the late spring, I forget the name of it, will be my guest on Monday's show to talk about...
We will be talking about our top 10 process, which begins next week. We'll have our Get to Know You on Monday night, and then we'll have speeches and our announcement on Tuesday. So I'll fill you in on everything that will be taking place.
We will have a top 10 group of royal ladies vying for the top 3 by 6:30 on Tuesday night. My time flies. Darcy on Monday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Dan and Darcy, thank you very much. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great weekend.
It all starts somewhere. Join the NCW Life channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Top 10 selection process. Tune in to our Facebook page for the Get to Know You on Monday at 6 p.m., The Top 10 speeches Tuesday at 10 a.m. and the Top 10 announcement at 6 p.m. Coverage is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Watch it all on the NCW Life channel Facebook page.